Let's be real. 2023 was not exactly a blockbuster year for Marvel. With major box office flops like Secret Invasion and The Marvels, MCU surely lost major prestige that year. Despite announcing the Ironheart series and Captain America: Brave New World,
Maybe Captain America, but you're not Steve Rogers.
Marvel's spark was gone. From lackluster plots to CGI that looked straight out of the 90s, fans wondered if they will ever get to watch a Marvel blockbuster again. But just then, Deadpool and Wolverine came along, and the tables for MCU turned faster than you could have imagined. The movie featured two of Marvel's unexpected characters together, surrounded by chaos, claws, and comedy, and it turned out that's exactly what we needed to save the year. But that wasn't all this movie delivered. Buckle up and relax because we are diving into all the madness that makes this flick a must-watch. Welcome to the Movie Play channel, where movies under X-ray. It's like Wolverine taking off his adamantium claws, but still failing airport security because the scanner picks up every single adamantium bone in his adamantium skeleton. And before we move forward, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell. From secret Easter eggs and hilarious one-liners to incredible cameos and more, here is everything you need to know about Deadpool and Wolverine. By the way, you've probably already heard how many cameos appeared in Deadpool and Wolverine. What do you think is the exact number? A. 41, B. 54, C. 12, D. 33. Stay with us until the end to find out the answer. Unless, of course, you'd rather sit down and count them yourself. Let's kick things off with that new Marvel intro. If you blinked, you might have missed some of the sneaky little changes they made. They went with the traditional, long-form Marvel Studios intro. The one that feels like it lasts as long as an entire Disney Plus episode. But this time, they decided to mix it up with a few nods to our favorite Merc with a mouth. Hey snuck in scenes from the previous Deadpool movies and even added a brand new clip from Deadpool vs. Wolverine right inside the M of the Marvel logo. Now that is a first. Normally, Marvel plays it safe and only adds scenes from older movies. But here, they went full Deadpool, breaking all the rules. And then, because it's Deadpool, things get, well, meta. The Marvel fanfare music kicks in, but surprise, it's Deadpool humming the tune. He even jokes about how catchy it is. Then bam, the Marvel Studios logo morphs into the texture of Deadpool's red costume, shifting colors to match our two anti-heroes, red for Deadpool and yellow for Wolverine. But wait, the color shift was not only a graphic technique. Look closely, and you will see that the uniform has several bloodstains on it. And that was our clue that this movie wasn't a PG-13 movie, but it will be rated as R restricted. Starting, Deadpool takes us to a familiar place, the woods where Logan was laid to rest at the end of the Logan movie. He begins with, "We promised we wouldn't dishonor Logan's memory, but we lied." Next thing you know, he is digging up Wolverine's grave. And of course, he's doing it with a mug that says, "I like me." Which he lifted from a TVA agent earlier. These agents work under the Time Variance Authority, which is an organization existing outside space and time, and is on a mission to protect the sacred timeline of Marvel. Coming back to the scene, Deadpool's not happy about Logan dying, pointing out that Wolverine's healing factor shouldn't let that happen. And then, clunk, his shovel hits the metal. And that sound takes us right back to Wolverine's first appearance in the original X-Men film. If that wasn't a clue big enough, we see Logan's adamantium skeleton, still wearing the same shirt from his last moments in Logan, and still stuck with the same tree branch that initially killed him.
I've always wanted to ride with you, Logan. You and me getting into it, Deadpool and Wolverine.
And with Deadpool gruffing about how Marvel paid big bags of cash to resurrect heroes, we were convinced that Wolverine is alive and coming back.
Shit, yeah, she's wise. No, that's her name. You call her Blind Al. Well, she's blind.
And no, this wasn't the only time Deadpool took shots on Fox. Throughout the movie, he takes jabs at them, with the most brutal one being, Deadpool takes no time throwing shade at Disney's censorship rules. He jokes about how they know all the slang for cocaine, just to prove he's still the same foul-mouthed anti-hero we love. There is even a hilarious moment where Deadpool warns a former Captain America, Chris Evans, in all his squeaky clean glory about that indecent language. By the way, do you know which role instead of Captain America did Chris Evans play in Deadpool and Wolverine? A. Daredevil, B. Human Torch, C. Red Skull, D. Elektra. But it's not all jokes and boundary pushing. As the movie wraps up, the closing credits treat us to a montage of behind-the-scenes footage from every Fox Marvel movie. Disney told the fans that while the merger marks the end of an era, the crossover between Deadpool and Wolverine gives us hope that our favorite characters still have stories to tell.
Head down and dismantle that thing now. We got
Coming back to the start, we got the intro that instantly brought back the Marvel spark lost over the years, or something better than it. As the TVA agents appear out of nowhere, Bye 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 by NSYNC starts blasting. But Deadpool doesn't just fight here, he dances through the whole thing, busting out the exact moves from the boy band's iconic music video while taking down TVA agents. It's as wild as it sounds. But wait, why did they choose this song over all the million choices available? Well, maybe because we needed one more throwback to the X-Men movie, which came out in the same year as the song. Now, let's talk details. Deadpool's using Wolverine's skeleton as his weapon of choice, which is just brilliant. He's got Logan's bones, but wait, he is using them in some seriously inventive ways. Sharp bones become blades, and blunt ones turn into batons. And the way the credits roll into the action? Chef's kiss. For instance, Ryan Reynolds' name pops up on a bone as Deadpool jabs it through an agent's head. Then comes the part where Deadpool grabs Wolverine's claws, using blood vessels and nerves as straps. This intro's level of creativity makes it stand out. Trust me, you will want to watch it a few times just to catch every detail. Now let's talk about Deadpool and Wolverine's relationship, which is one of the most chaotic, yet oddly charming relationships in Marvel Comics. It all started pretty rough, their first meeting in Wolverine 88, which was a rocky beginning. Deadpool, being his usual unhinged self, was out to kill his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend. Naturally, Wolverine wasn't having any of that and stepped in to stop him. The result? An intense fight that ended with Deadpool actually getting the upper hand, something not many can say when going up against Wolverine. At first, they genuinely hated each other. Wolverine's the grumpy, no-nonsense type, while Deadpool is like a human cartoon who thrives on chaos. Their shared healing factors mean they can't die, so they fight a lot, often with ridiculous levels of violence. Deadpool's craziness and Wolverine's serious personality make them perfect opposites, which is exactly why their early fights were so explosive.
And I'm actually okay, thank you very much.
But over time, something shifted. Wolverine, who's usually the last person to tolerate nonsense, started seeing parts of himself in Deadpool, especially the trauma from the Weapon X program. Wolverine slowly realized that under all that sarcasm and insanity, Deadpool was dealing with a lot of pain, and Wolverine's been through his fair share of it too. So, begrudgingly, Wolverine started trying to steer Deadpool away from the darker path, believing there was some good in him. Eventually, after many battles, insults, and even some team-ups, they found themselves respecting each other. Wolverine saw Deadpool as more than just a loudmouth mercenary, and Deadpool, in his own twisted way, came to admire Wolverine's strength and integrity. Now, they're kind of like frenemies who can't help but fight, but also trust each other when it really counts. It's a friendship that's messy, unpredictable, and surprisingly deep. And now let's move on to the first big cameo in the movie, which is quite a blast. Jon Favreau appears as Happy Hogan, and he has a pretty hilarious role. We see him interviewing Deadpool for a spot on The Avengers, and it's all played for laughs. Deadpool pokes fun at Happy, saying his superpower is parallel parking and that he is just Armin's driver. But there's a fun twist. Using Happy Hogan is not just for comedy.
You brace yourself and you ravage the midsection.
I get it. Okay.
It might be a throwback to Jon Favreau's past. Remember, Favreau also played Foggy Nelson in the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. And this film throws back to that with multiple Jon Favreau cameos. One happens during the end credits, where he is back as Foggy Nelson. The interview is set in what's supposed to be the new Avengers base in upstate New York. If you look around, there are some cool Easter eggs from previous Marvel movies. The main one being the incompleted Captain America shield from Iron Man 2 displayed in the center of the office, as well as Tony Stark's original arc reactor, an Iron Man helmet from Iron Man 2 movie again. Maybe this was the moment where Deadpool and Wolverine tied its connection to the Marvel. Or was it Kevin Feige's way of telling Reynolds that no, he can't be in the Avengers movie? Reynolds pitched 20 versions of this Deadpool and Wolverine movie to Kevin Feige before it got the green light. So yeah, the jokes about rejection are hitting close to home, on and off screen. His first pitched version wanted this movie to be a Rashomon story about Deadpool and Wolverine told from multiple perspectives. Feige rejected this idea, saying he wanted it to be more than just playing the hits. Reynolds went back to his creative corner and came back with 18 different ideas, which included making it a Sundance film, doing a project under $10 million budget, and even using IP in a unique way. Yet this just wasn't the spot for Reynolds to shine. However, our favorite cameo has to go to none other than Jennifer Garner as Elektra. Garner's Elektra has been the butt of jokes for over 2 decades now, but seeing her back in action here, you really get the sense that she always had the potential to be a true badass in the role.
All seeing you.
Let's be honest, the Daredevil movie didn't exactly give Elektra much to do before she was quickly killed off, only to be brought back in a spin-off that, well, let's just say it didn't win any screenwriting awards. But here, Garner's Elektra is resurrected. She's not just back, she's part of a killer team with Deadpool, Wolverine, and others. Even though she plays it straight, she still gets in on the laughs. One of her funniest lines? She casually mentioned that her version of Daredevil didn't make it, and she is not exactly losing sleep over it.
Get that little beauty.
That's Punisher's AT4.
There's only been one Blade. There's only ever going to be one Blade.
Given Jennifer Garner's real-life history with Ben Affleck, there's another layer to that joke. And it lands perfectly. It's time to another quiz. Which of Deadpool and Wolverine's allies survived the battle in the Wastelands according to the footage on TVA monitors and announced their own standalone movie, Gambit, Elektra, Blade, Human Torch? Despite watching the movie repeatedly, one thing that never failed to amaze me was the void. No, this wasn't an MCU island. It was a link between all MCU stars up until now. You have Thor's helmet, Cap's old World War II shield, and even the corpse of a Chitauri Leviathan from the Avengers, which I wasn't expecting to make a comeback. Honestly, it felt as if a Marvel Museum exhibit exploded and scattered across the sand. And that's just the start. There are vehicles, too, tons of them. Cassandra and her group of villains were seen cruising around in Red Skull's car from the first Captain America movie. And, to top it off, there was even Fantasticar, whom we haven't seen in any of the Fantastic Four movies yet. You can also spot a S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier, Peter Quill's ship from Guardians of the Galaxy, and a Black Order ship from Infinity War just casually parked in the wasteland. At one point, Deadpool and Wolverine even use a Sentinel boot, a giant robot boot, to escape Cassandra's forces quickly. And don't forget the massive stone carving of Scarlet Witch from Multiverse of Madness, which was secretively placed in the Resistance Group's hideout. We've dissected Deadpool and Wolverine piece by piece so you can see all its strengths. First, it's a legendary creation that will take its place in cinematic history because it reboots an entire cinematic universe. Second, no other existing film comes close to having as many cameos as this one. And third, the movie feels like a full stand-up performance by Deadpool himself. Of course, we haven't forgotten the question we asked at the beginning. After detailed calculations, we've determined that the film features exactly 41 cameos. Want to know exactly which ones? All right, let's dive in. Thor, Henry Cavill as Wolverine, Blade, Elektra, Gambit, the Hulk, Happy Hogan, Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, X-23, Laura, Lady pool, dance pool, head pool, kid pool, baby pool, dog pool, cowboy Deadpool, Paul Mullins Welsh pool, Canada pool, Watari, Deadpool 2099, Harold pool B15, Toad, Pyro, Juggernaut, Lady Deathstrike, Ant-Man, Azazel, Sabretooth, Silok, Callisto, Alioth, Stan Lee, Rob McElhenney's TVA Soldier, Zenpool, The Russian, Blob, Nice Pool, Bullseye, Quill, Archlight. Don't thank me, I insist. But you can't really hide these clues away from a clever eye, can you, MCU? If you enjoyed catching all the sneaky references and wild jokes in Deadpool 3, make sure to hit like, share the fun with your friends, and subscribe for more deep dives and theories. And don't forget to drop your favorite Easter egg or reference in the comments below. Until next time, stay tuned and curious.